everyone, BuilderBro07 again, and today we're going to be turning with the MyBlock. And today's lesson objectives are to create a useful MyBlock once more, and learn to make a MyBlock that will take inputs based on measurements with a protractor that you might have used in math class, and also make a turning MyBlock at the end. And what you need to know before this is turning MyBlocks with inputs and outputs, data wires, math blocks, and port view, which we have all learned before on our channel, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. So, rotation versus protractor degrees. So, a 45-degree turn by the robot in the real world can be measured with a protractor. We call this protractor degrees, as you guys can see here, and this is rotation. And you can use the EV3 to measure how much your wheel turns. We call this rotation degrees, so it's measured by wheels. And this one measures by how much the robot actually turns. So that's protractor degrees versus rotation. And just like move centimeters, which we created in the last educational video for EV3, you can also create a MyBlock for turns. In move centimeters, we have to figure out how much the robot wheels rotate for 1 centimeter. And to make a turn degrees MyBlock today, you need to figure out how much your rotation sensor on the motor turns for 1 degree on a protractor. And here is how we turn degrees in 3 easy steps. Step 1. How many rotation degrees does the robot turn for every 1 protractor degree? So basically, for every 1 protractor degree, so like right here, this is 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30, as you guys can probably see. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, blah, 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 and keep on continuing. And what it means by that is for every single one of those little lines, as you guys can see right here, for every single one of those little lines, how many rotation degrees is it? And what you need to measure is step 1A, rotation sensor measurement, and step 1B is program the robot to turn 1 protractor degree. So then you know how much rotation degrees is for every 1 protractor degree. And for step 2, you need to add a math block to convert the protractor degrees, which are these, to rotation degrees, which are these, for the EV3. So, for the EV3 robot. And step 3 is create the MyBlock with 2 inputs, power and degrees, just like we did for the move centimeters. So, let's do step 1A first, and measuring rotation sensor. So calculate how many motor degrees are in 1 protractor degree. And what you need to do is go to port view on your robot. So let me quickly search that up. Give me a second. View. EV3. So port view EV3 looks like this, as you guys can see here. It has different readings for different motors and different sensors. So that's what port view is used for. You can also check out the video that we made a couple of weeks ago, and pick the rotation sensor on your motor, as you see it down here, and hold one wheel in place and only turn the other wheel. So basically a pivot turn where one wheel is at 0 power and the other wheel has positive or negative power. And then turn the robot any number of degrees you choose. So it can be lots of degrees or even a couple of degrees. And make sure the wheels don't slip when you do this. And then what you need to do is look at the motor degree value right here, 640 for the droid bot right here, and divide by the number of protractor degrees you turn. So what that means is you have to basically do 640 divided by the number of protractor degrees you turn. And you'll need to use a protractor for this. And this is the number of rotation degrees in 1 protractor degree. So that's a really easy step that you can use because port value is very, very useful these days and in EV3 in general. An example using robot is that robot was turned 90 degrees, and using the port view, the motor moved 330 degrees, so it doesn't correspond with this image. And 330 versus 90 protractor degrees is 3.7, and that's 3.7 rotation degrees in 1 protractor degree. And this step B, you can turn the robot 1 degree, and the goal of this program is to turn the robot 1 degree, protractor degree, and 3.7 is the number of motor degrees or rotation degrees in 1 protractor degree for robot. So what that means is that right here we already calculated that 3.7 rotation degrees is 1 protractor degree for this robot. And so they basically did 1 protractor degree right here because 3.7 is equivalent to 1, and this one is talking about the rotation degrees. So it's basically equivalent to 1 protractor degree. I know it's really confusing, but please bear with me. And since this is 1 protractor degree, this is making the robot turn for 1 protractor degree because they're equivalent. 3.7 rotation degrees is equal to 1 protractor degree. And you will have to customize this based on your robot using these steps. Step 2 is we have to do protractor to motor degree. And the goal of this program is to automate the conversion between protractor degrees and motor degrees. So right here, as you see here, we have the motor or rotation degrees, as they called it. And then you multiplied it by the amount of protractor degrees, input A by the degrees per motor degree. So that's basically what we did here, as you see here. 90 protractor degrees, and then we divided motor degrees by protractor degrees, we got 3.7. So what they did is that they multiplied 90 and 3.7, and they took the output of that from the math block and put it in the number of rotations for the motor degrees right here. And it is passed into the move steering block with 50 turn and 50 power. Step 3A is setting up the MyBlock. So what you want to do is highlight it like this. As you see here, you want to highlight these 2 squares. Do not highlight this first program piece. And you highlight the 2 MyBlocks and then go to Tools and MyBlock Builder. And then you have to create 2 inputs, 1 for degrees and 1 for power. And we covered that in the last video and last video for how to do that. And what you want to do is you want to just add these inputs, 1 for power, 1 for degrees. And the first one right here, as you guys can probably see, this first one is for degrees, this one's for power. And then you have to refer to the other lesson if you have any trouble, which is in our video on the channel. And then we want to set up the parameters, as you guys can see here. So for the degrees, which they have selected, they named it degrees. It's an input number 90, and you do this. And then for this one, for power, you just name it power, and the default value is 0, I believe. And then step 3, you have to wire the input. So after you press finish down here, what you want to do is it'll pop up like this with 2 second programs. One being the MyBlock itself, like as 1 block, and 1 showing what the MyBlock does and what the MyBlock contains. So then you want to wire the inputs in the gray block. So as you see here, we put the degrees in the degrees, so you dragged it over. No, we put the degrees in A, the number of degrees, and put the power in the power, as you guys can see. And then we took that output and put it in the rotations. So the degrees is right here, and the degrees doesn't really change. Only the power and rotation does. And the result of the MyBlock is wired into the move steering block degree output. And step 3B, turn degrees MyBlock. So as you see here, we have the 2 MyBlocks, and you can always change the 2 inputs, degrees and powers. You can do it negative, you can do positive, you can turn it because you can choose any one because it is changeable because you set it like that. And because there are 2 inputs, and then you can always change them. And to double click, and then if you double click on the MyBlock like that, if you double click on the MyBlock, it'll show you what it contains just like that. And this makes the robot turn right, and this makes the robot turn left. And step 3B again, I guess. So this is the inside turn degrees right. This program is step 2, convert it into a MyBlock with 2 numeric outputs, degrees and power. And this is the other one for left, so you can always pause this video and take a look at the differences. As you can see here, there are just slight differences that make it turn left and make it turn right. And this has been Builder Bro 07. Have a great day, build on, and see you in the next video. Bye.